Hi, welcome to Planet Earth. Hope you're enjoying your coffee. Please let me know if you need your hydrogen gas canisters topped off. Today I'm going to show that the sandbox survival genre of gaming is an evolution of the classical RPG. You're of course wondering, what is an RPG game? Well, I'll gladly tell you. An RPG, or role-playing game, is a game in which players assume the roles of characters in a fictional setting. Often this role is determined by the game. In these scenarios, you play as an individual with a predetermined story, a name, and a history of their own. A great example of this is Commander Shepard in the Mass Effect series, or Link from one of the many Zelda titles. Although these characters have some predetermination in their role within the game, there is a level of ambiguity to their personas that is filled by the choices that the players themselves make as they pilot the character. This leads us to another form of RPG where the player makes a new character completely from scratch. An example of this would be a game like Fallout. In Fallout, you get to name your character and choose his appearance, abilities, and traits. Both of these cases, though, the player is led down a very linear progression of the story. He's given what appears to be choices whose failures or success leads the player to progression within the story being told to them through the gameplay. This is common for the genre of RPG, and just like being able to make a character is an answer to giving the player more creative freedom than playing an already pre-chosen individual, many RPGs try to make their games open world to solve the issue of being too linear. Open world is a common concept of these types of games, going back as far as OGs of the field, such as A Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. In A Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, you, the player piloting Link, the protagonist, could choose where in the world you wanted to travel and progress the story. You were given many options, and the story could unfold how and when you wanted it to, but the story still unfolded the same in the end. Just how you got all the different pieces of it was up to you. Many titles try to change the ending depending on what choices you make as well, increasing the feeling of freedom that the player experiences. Now enter the sandbox survival. In a sandbox survival game, typically there is no story at the forefront of the player. The story is in the background. The world setting and the player's character are at the forefront. In all these games, you start with a basic set of tools and a harsh environment that demands attention and focus to survive. And eventually, you're able to carve out a thriving utopia through trial and error experiences. When the story it unfolds itself subtly in the background. In the title Ark Survival Evolved, the story can be found in hidden messages throughout the game world, and it is discovered out of order with hundreds of tiny dialogues. In fact, most players have to share their experiences online with other people to piece all of it together to get the big picture, while in game, the experience is mostly set along what the player is choosing to do. Just as making your own character enhances the feeling of creative freedom to the player than using a preset character, a sandbox survival game puts the story in the player's hand more than the typical linear experience of today's RPG games. Survival and thrival is the story, and you write your legend as you play. Only once you have weathered the elements, then you know what your story is. As Patrician TV at YouTube said, 7 Days to Die feels more like a sequel to Fallout New Vegas than Fallout 4. And what's so bold about this statement is that 7 Days to Die has no story, no NPCs, and no questline. Truly, while you enjoy your stay on our planet, you must see for yourself this new and exciting direction that the genre has taken. You may find it interesting to enter an avatar not entirely hell-bent on intergalactic domination. That's all for today. Thank you for listening, and thank you for sparing me and my family from the genocide and harvest of our planet's rich resources. I will return to my quarters in the uranium mining district and attend to my duties. Good day.